How am I sounding worse? How? I can't hear you.
This is macOS Ken.
Tim Cook kind of addresses Minneapolis, Ming-Chi Kuo on iPhone and the memory crunch, and shrinking grows by at least a season. It is Wednesday, the 28th of January, 2026. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for growing your presence online. Get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain with offer code macOSKen at squarespace.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Copilot Money, designed to make your money feel clear, calm, and fully yours. January is coming to a close, but it is not too late to make a fresh start on your financial health. Make that easier with Copilot Money. Copilot Money helps you understand your finances, stay organized, and make better decisions, no matter your starting point. It puts all your payments, investments, and accounts in one place, even relatively unusual accounts like Apple Card, Apple Savings, and PayPal. And it works across all of your devices, with apps for iPhone, iPad, the Mac, and a great new interface for the web. Get a fresh start and make your money work for you in 2026 with a 2-month free trial of Copilot Money. Start that with offer code macOSKen at try.copilot.money/macOSKen. Featured by Apple as an app we love and a must-have finance app, you can try it out with a 2-month free trial with offer code macOSKen at try.copilot.money/macOSKen. Copilot Money. Your money, beautifully organized, now across every device at try.copilot.money/macOSKen. There has been an elephant in the room this week, and Tim Cook is trying to ride it without breaking anything. Days after attending a VIP White House screening of a documentary about the First Lady, on the same day, federal agents killed ICU nurse Alex Preddy for trying to help a woman up off the ground. Apple CEO has responded publicly to that killing, the killing of Renee Good, and the intense federal presence in Minneapolis. Anyway, I assume that's what he was talking about. I say he addressed it publicly. I should have said publicly-ish. A piece from 9 to 5 Mac says Cook sent a memo to Apple employees Tuesday night. Quoting that, "I'm heartbroken by the events in Minneapolis, and my prayers and deepest sympathies are with the families, with the communities, and with everyone that's been affected. This is a time for de-escalation. I believe America is strongest when we live up to our highest ideals, when we treat everyone with dignity and respect no matter who they are or where they're from, and when we embrace our shared humanity. This is something Apple has always advocated for. I had a good conversation with the president this week where I shared my views, and I appreciate his openness to engaging on issues that matter to us all. I know this is very emotional and challenging for so many. I am proud of how deeply our teams care about the world beyond our walls. That empathy is one of Apple's strongest strengths, and it is something I believe we all cherish. Thank you for all that you do, Tim." Might have meant more if he had mentioned Good by name or Preddy by name. Also would have been neat to hear exactly what he said to the president and exactly how the president responded. Oh well, at least we finally know that Tim Cook has some idea of what's happening outside of Apple's walls. I do wish that TF International analyst Ming-Chi Kuo would choose a platform rather than hopping from one to another for no apparent reason. And if that one could not be Twitter, that'd be great. It was Twitter yesterday, though, or the porn-producing, Nazi-infested husk of what used to be Twitter. Anyway, he went there to opine on the current memory crunch in the supply chain and what it might mean for iPhone pricing. In the words of my favorite morning DJ, "Nuttin' honey. Yes, memory prices are on the rise, even for the Cupertino company. Could be worse, though. A lot of non-AI first companies aren't able to get the memory that they need, even if they're willing to pay the getting bigger all the time bucks. The fact that Apple can lock in a deal like this just shows how much leverage they have in the analyst's estimation. But what does that mean for the would-be consumer? Again, nuttin' honey. According to Ming-Chi Kuo's extended tweet, higher memory costs will hit iPhone gross margins, but Apple's playbook is clear. Use the market chaos to their advantage, secure the chips, absorb the costs, and grab more market share. They'll make it back later on the services side. Pardon me for being that guy, but that's close to what I said a couple of weeks ago. On the 19th of January, during a story about Apple no longer anchoring the supply chain, I said, seems like now would be a great time to keep iPhone prices exactly where they are. Let people who want to pay a ton of money pay a ton of money for the foldable iPhone everyone's expecting later this year. Use that to jack your overall ASPs and margins. If Apple's margin falls to 30-something% or even 20-something%, they're still doing better than most businesses out there. An iPhone starts to look like a value without looking cheap. Now, Ming-Chi Kuo is actually talking about the current iPhones, not the next ones. That said, the analyst thinks the plan now is to avoid raising prices as much as possible on the next ones as well. They'll try to at least keep the starting price flat on iPhone 18 in his estimation, which is helpful for marketing. He also expects analysts to pepper Apple with questions about the memory crunch on tomorrow's December quarter earnings call. He is not guessing what they'll say. What they do say, though, could actually shake up other industry stocks more than Apple's own or its suppliers, according to Ming-Chi Kuo. Maybe the reason Apple and Google haven't done anything about CSAM Slinger and porn producer Grok is because once you start, where do you stop? A piece from Engadget has an online advocacy organization called the Tech Transparency Project, or TTP, saying that Apple's App Store and Google's Play Store still offer dozens of AI Nudify apps, in addition to not finding it in them to stop the Grok. Stop the Grok. Won't stop the Grok. They won't stop the Grok. Won't stop. According to Engadget, the apps they're talking about are AI applications that create non-consensual and sexualized images, which is a clear violation of both company store policies. All told, the investigation found 55 of this type of app in the Google Play Store and 47 in the Apple App Store. Both platforms also still offer access to Twitter's Grok, which is likely the most famous non-consensual deepfake maker in the world. I prefer the term CSAM Slinger, but that's me. If you're wondering how much damage 102 apps between both stores, or 104 if you count Grok twice, one for each store. If you're wondering how much damage 104 apps between both stores can do, it is not a small amount. Engadget says the apps identified by the report have been collectively downloaded over 700 million times and generated more than $117 million in revenue, with Google and Apple getting a cut of that money. Oh, and their restrictions are far from restrictive. The piece says many of the apps named in the investigation are rated as suitable for teens and children. Dreamface, for instance, is rated suitable for ages 13 and up in the Google Play Store and ages 9 and up in Apple's App Store. Apple says it's responded to the TTP report, removing 24 of the named apps out of 47. Google, meanwhile, said it had suspended several, though it declined to say how many several is or was. Were? You know what just occurred to me? If Eyes Up let you notify federal police and the videos of ICE activity that people captured, might actually still be in the App Store. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for growing your presence online. How do you get your site seen? With help from Squarespace. All of the sites built with Squarespace are built to be noticed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more. If users are looking for something like what you're offering, Squarespace will help them find you. Now, once they do, they will find a stylish site waiting. You can start with their library of award-winning website templates or use Blueprint AI, the AI-enhanced Squarespace builder. Using basic information about what you do, what you're trying to do, and the mood you're trying to set, Blueprint AI can help you build a fully custom website in just a few steps. That is just some of the tools that Squarespace has to offer. Check them all out for yourself at squarespace.com/MacOSKen to start your free trial. Then when you're ready to launch, use offer code MacOSKen to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Go to squarespace.com/MacOSKen for a free trial. Then use offer code MacOSKen for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for growing your presence online. Get started today at squarespace.com/MacOSKen. Apple's Big Bang Beta Parade rolls on. Pieces from Mac Rumors say Apple on Tuesday released the third public betas of iOS and iPadOS 26.3, along with 26.3 editions of macOS, watchOS, and tvOS. When will they be out to the public? Your guess is as good as anybody's. A piece from 9 to 5 Mac on Tuesday had that site seeming to expect the update sometime next week. For its part, yesterday's Mac Rumors report said public releases of the 26.3 builds are expected by the end of January, which ends this weekend. Your guess is as good as anybody's. Apple TV is revving the engine for Formula One. The Cupertino streamer is the streaming home for F1 racing for at least the next 5 years. Though races don't start until March, a piece from Cult of Mac says Apple has outed a bunch of video to raise interest and enthusiasm. Up for viewing are videos on the new look for the Red Bull team, a review of last year's races, rules changes for this year, various qualifying and race schedules, and a decent amount more. That is all available in a new section on Apple TV called Get Ready for Formula One on Apple TV. Gee, I wonder what that's about. The races and associated programs are included with an Apple TV subscription. From F1 The Races to F1 The Movie, Apple's 2025 summer blockbuster keeps picking up award nominations. Apple Insider says the vehicle has picked up 3 BAFTA nominations, including for Best Sound, Best Visual Effects, and Best Editing. Meanwhile, another piece from Apple Insider says the movie's been nominated for Best Edited Feature Film in the 76th Annual American Cinema Editors Awards. As with the movie's Oscar nominations, F1 is racing another Apple original, The Lost Bus, for the Visual Effects BAFTA. Meanwhile, a lot of Apple TV titles are up for American Cinema Editors Awards, most of which got nowhere near a cinema. They include an episode of Mr. Scorsese in Best Edited Documentary Series, a nom for Best Edited Single Camera Comedy Series for an episode of The Studio, and 3 of the 5 nominations for Best Edited Drama Series, 2 for episodes of Severance, and 1 for an episode of Pluribus. The BAFTA Film Awards will be handed out on the 22nd of February. The American Cinema Editors Awards will be presented on the 27th. And finally today, big news for you shrinking fans. Apple TV issued a press release announcing a 4th season renewal for the Bill Lawrence, Brett Goldstein, Jason Segel created series. Why would they announce a 4th season when the 3rd season hasn't started yet? Well, that's the other big news. In case you missed it, the 3rd season of seriously one of the best shows on Apple TV officially starts its run today. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Copilot Money. Get a 2-month free trial with offer code macOSKen at try.copilot.money/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Squarespace. Get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain with offer code macOSKen at squarespace.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can find me on Mastodon, macOSKen at mastodon.social. You can also send me an email, info@macosken.com. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Leonard likes this post.